So, somebody asked me under one of my videos where I discussed how I did a cash flow statement for my business to open up a new business bank account. And he asked me how did I do the balance sheet. And so, first things first, I'm going to show you in this video how I did my balance sheet. However, I am not like, somebody who's working in a bank or who's like working in some financial institution. So I'm going to just show you what I did, but do not take this as some sort of expert advice. But this is what I did and this is what got me through. And similar to the other video, I used the financial handbook guide that you can find on Republic Bank's website under small business tools, right? I showed you in my other video about how I open up my business bank account, and that's basically what I did. I used the guide. I looked at each specific definition for each financial term in each line of the balance sheet, and I just went back and forth and thought to myself, okay, how is this applicable to me and my business starting out, so that I will know what estimated figure to put there, because at this point everything is kind of estimated because you're now starting out anyway. You may know some of your debts and liabilities, but you may not know specifically everything else. So it's really just to give like a good estimate. When it is you're actually consistently spending or consistently earning, that is where you'd want to keep a better track of your records. Whether you start off in something simple like Excel or Google Sheets, or if you opt to have like some sort of more robust bookkeeping system like some accounting software. So again, with each financial document I had to submit, I used the financial handbook from Republic Bank, and I used each definition for each line and inputted my best estimated amount. So the first category is non-current assets, which are items held for over 1 year. So these are usually property, equipment, fixtures and fittings, or furniture and or vehicles. So for me, as you can see, I have a large figure for equipment because at that time I documented the sewing machines and sergers that I was using to make face masks, because that is the first product that I started off my business with. And I also include a used vehicle that I had purchased, and I just used the amount that I purchased it for as its value. The other category is current assets, which are held for less than 1 year, which means that they can be turned into cash or easily liquidated. So these are cash and cash equivalents, which is more or less money or items with a similar nature. Accounts receivables, which is money owed by customers who have received products and services and have been billed for them already. And inventory, which is your current stock of products or items that you have for sale. So in this section, I placed the cash that I had, which actually came from my own cash that I would have put into the business for it to operate, and I use that as the cash on hand. With the accounts receivables, this is a projected amount that I had based on cash that I perceived that I would receive from any type of sales that I would have made, or any type of money that I anticipated that I would receive that year and put into the business. So I would have done like some side hustles or other business ventures with other people, and I anticipated some income from off of that I would put into the business. So that's where that big figure is coming from, and it's just an estimate of income that I personally, as well as income through the business, that I wanted to correlate and put into the business regardless. So that is what I place there. However, that may not be 100% accurate, but again, it's just a projection, right? And the inventory was the current stock that I had and the value of it if it was to be sold, and those would have been the face masks that I had already made. So in the other section is the liabilities, and the non-current liabilities would be any borrowings or any other long-term liabilities. So these are usually like bank loans that the repayment terms are over a year. So for me, I had taken out a loan, a personal loan, which I was using mainly for the business, and some of that cash was split up, and that's why in the previous section I have the receivables as so big, because that was used for something else and I intended to recoup that within a year so that it would stay in, eventually make its way back into the business. So current liabilities, on the other hand, are debts that would be resolved or repaid within a year. So these could be short-term borrowings like a short-term loan, accounts payables, which are debts that you owe, that you have to your suppliers, tax payables, which is any taxes that you need to pay as a business, which should be done at least quarterly as a sole trader, and deferred income, which is if a customer made an advance payment and you still have to deliver the goods or provide the service, right? So that's a short-term liability on your end. And then the final section is about equity, and here the share capital is any cash investment from the owner, and here I put in about 15,000 cash, and retained earnings is any profits that the business made and you are leaving it within the business so that it could be reinvested. And any drawings is, as it states, any money that you as a business owner withdraws from your business, and that's almost like referred to as like a dividend. So you are withdrawing from the profits for yourself. So that is how I did the balance sheet. And again, there are a lot of lines that I left blank, and that's because there's nothing there that I had to put into those lines. So don't be afraid to leave lines blank if you don't have any liabilities or you don't have anything that you estimate that would happen within that financial year. Then don't put it in, because you have to remember this is something that is projected. So it is an estimate, it is not set in stone. Only when you are operating your business you will actually have the raw data and the real figures to put in financial statements. So if you want to see any more of my videos on how to open your business bank account online with Republic Bank in Trinidad and Tobago, you can click on the videos coming up next, and I'll see you over there.